Hey, I'm Mike.
I'm Dan.
And welcome to the first ever episode of Manly Things That Men Do and Supercharging M40 E36 BMW.
Some people are going to ask, why are we keeping the M40 and not changing it for a bigger engine?
And to that we say, because that's boring and dull and everybody does it and we aren't everybody. So we're going to be different. We're going to put a supercharger on this bad boy, which is going to create some sweet skids and maybe make some females moist and maybe some males too, depending on how we're feeling.
Sweet.
Let's do it. Ow!
We've sourced our parts second-hand, both online and from wrecking yards, as we're running on a budget because we have little to no money. All of the parts that we're using are relatively inexpensive and easy to find.
Alright, now the supercharger we've decided to go with is an SC14 supercharger, which comes off a mid-1980s Toyota Supra 1GGZE engine, which is 2 litres. 2 litre capacity, which means that it's going to be more than enough flow for our 1.8 litre M40 engine. Now we've decided to go ahead and put a smaller pulley on this because smaller pulley means more spins, and faster spins means more air. More air means more boost, and more boost means wetter panties. So let's do this. Alright, so to install our supercharger setup we had to make a couple of custom brackets which actually turned out to be super simple. We ended up deleting the air conditioning because you don't need air conditioning to do sweet skids, and we used the crank pulley that the air conditioning would usually use, and then we've added a bracket here that has an idler pulley which is adjustable, and that's how we create tension on our supercharger belt. The supercharger belt we've had to get a custom one from the auto store. So what we did was we just got a piece of string, we put it around the pulleys to find the general size that we needed, went down to the store, went into their pulley section and grabbed the belt that suited. Sweet!
So how many bolts hold the supercharger on, Mike?
Well, technically I guess it would be 8.
8 bolts?
8 bolts.
That's it?
That's it. That's it, yeah. It's not the most complicated setup in the world.
So just 4 on each side and then the belt?
So 4 on the supercharger, 4 on the brackets obviously on the engine, and then 1 on the idler pulley I guess, so that technically is...
So that would be 9, Mike.
9, but the idler pulley doesn't. Whatever, okay. No one likes
levering it out.
I'm levering it out. Leverage. No one likes loose anything.
Need to get a bit of leverage.
Always. That's how easy it is to put a supercharger in apparently. Crazy.
In this video, Dan's explaining how important it is to have an intercooler on your supercharger setup. Unfortunately, we forgot to turn the microphone on because we're awesome. But basically what he's saying is, superchargers create so much heat that it's important to have an intercooler up front to cool that boost before it enters your engine. Plus, let's be honest, they do look pretty awesome.
supercharger setup, for this particular setup you can actually run a blow-off valve or a recirculating valve. In fact, you have to run one because otherwise the boost will end up coming back onto the supercharger, and that's a no-no. So we will be running a vent-to-air Monza Type 3 blow-off valve. Eventually we will convert to a recirculating blow-off valve because I don't really like the blow-off valve noise. I think the supercharger sounds awesome enough by itself, but this is what we have for now. This is what we're going to use. Sweet.
What's that for, Mike?
This is the boost reference line that holds the blow-off valve shut when you're under boost and allows it to open when you come off boost. And it goes psh, and all the ladies go ah, and they get real moist. It's the best thing ever. So obviously when you're putting boost into your engine, more boost, you need more fuel. More air, more fuel, so that you don't make your engine go bang and have a really bad day at the track. So the stock injectors on this M40 are pretty much maxed out from factory, so if you're going to put boost into it you need to put bigger injectors. We've put Bosch Blue Top injectors. They're 24 pound injectors and they should do the job for what we're looking for, which is about 10 pounds of boost. Also what you need is a rising rate fuel pressure regulator. We've got a Malpassi one, and also we've got a fuel gauge on here so that we know how much fuel pressure we're running. Yeah, and basically also what we're going to do is put a chip in our ECU that has different fuel maps in it, and also retards the ignition timing about 1.5 degrees for every pound of boost that we're putting into the engine, so that we have sweet skids and not mad bang bang, because that's bad. If your car's anything like ours, it's got a whole bunch of Ks on the clock, 250,000 in fact. We've actually given the engine a bit of a freshen up, check the compression on all the cylinders and that's perfect. But what you want to do, although the leads may look alright, after all that time they'll probably lost a little bit of their punch in terms of spark. So you want to get some new leads, new coil or coils depending on what system your car runs, to make sure that your spark is absolutely on point. Also new oil, new fluids throughout the engine, because you're going to be pushing this engine to the absolute limits when you're on the track doing sweet skids and making those women moist, of course. Alright, the last thing we need to do is install the airflow meter. We're running ours in a draw-through setup, so that's going to be in front of the supercharger. Once that's done, we're good to start the car. Sweet!
Right, so we've put the supercharger in. Pretty much all we have to do now is see if it starts and runs like it's meant to.
Fingers crossed.
Sweet, let's give it a go.
Alright, so we've done all the hard work and now it's time for the first start. You ready, Dad?
I think so, let's give it a go.
I feel like it's not going to start. That's it. It starts, it runs.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Supercharged BMW.
So turns out we actually know what we're doing, kind of, a little bit. Hardly. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you click like and subscribe, because we're going to have heaps more videos coming for you guys. Not just supercharging, we need to install a roll cage in this thing. We also need to install a couple of other things, so you guys need to stay tuned, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you for watching Manly Things That Men Do.
Sweet.
Sweet.